two and one and two and.
I am what I am. All right, this ought to be fun. Got a load of wood. I gotta get out this swamp. Don't fail me now, baby. Don't fail me now. You can do it. You're almost there. Oh, you made it. Good job, Betsy. Good job, Betsy. Woo! She did it. Here's the claim. This is 6 foot by 14 foot trailer. I had to remember, but yeah. So there's quite a bit of weight here, and old Betsy pulled us through. I didn't think she'd make it. I need ball joints and tie rods. The whole front end needs rebuilt, and the inside of my tires are about ball. I can feel wires in there, so I didn't think she was gonna make her out, but she got it. Look at this stuff. Oh my goodness. Whew. What do you think about this mess, Tammy?
I don't want to talk about it.
Be getting this girl out pretty soon. Month or so. Gotta get my seedlings started. Can't wait for that. So garden looks sad. My onions are still doing all right out there. Garlic's still green. That's my mater patch. Yeah, onions. Look at that. I wouldn't want to eat them, but they're still growing. They last all winter long. Cabbage will grow most of the winter too. So I don't get very good fruit off of it. A lot of times it rots, but it'll grow. That's back there. Salt block. Oh, there's another one. They didn't make it. That's good for like your air compressors, wheelbarrows, lawnmowers, ATVs. Just put it in there, whether you need it or not. And then if you gotta get something punctured, it just repairs it. I don't like it in my car, or I don't use it in my vehicles. But my smaller tires, good stuff. This is that dual saw they pushed pretty hard on TV. I remember when they used to make tools that worked well. I got this thing at an auction. I don't know, not very much. The guy had already cut this thing because apparently, you know, you gotta have a handle, but they don't put it on there, so you gotta put it on every time. He decided he was just gonna cut this hole in the box. So when you shut it, the handle popped out, so you didn't have to put it on and off. Which kind of makes it a little better, I think. But it's still not a very good saw. Definitely not worth the hype. I've used it a few times. It'll cut stuff, but if you use your tools properly and know how to use them, you don't need this stuff. But wah, wah, wah. One more try. Oh, that's pretty good. When you're under a crawl space deck or something, you gotta get stone or dirt or whatever out. This little guy comes in handy. Oh. Hey, it's stuck. Woo! This is where I'm hoping to put a big lookout tower type tree stand. You know, 4 posts right here in the corner, overlooking that creek back there. This row over there looks like really far away from here, but they run this a lot. So we sit there and got some work to do on this thing here pretty soon. Next few months I'll have all my starts in here trying to make it before maybe plant didn't make it. I kind of put this is the first year I had this. I'm not completely done. Just using repurposed windows. So I can take my seedlings and put them out here so I don't have to go to a store and buy all my starts. So I had a bunch of windows left over. I just thought I'd throw them together and see if I can make it warm enough to get, you know, to a point that they'll do well in the spring. Last year, I tried to start them and they ended up dying, so I could have backups out here because I had to go buy all new plants even after I grew them twice. So I actually planted my garden 3 times last year. Had a pretty good gut. It was a lot of work, so I'm hoping to eliminate that this year. And I hope to do that with that greenhouse. Or if not this year, next year, the following year, whatever. Something I'm working on, so doesn't have to get done. It's something I do if I ever have any spare time. Man, it's gnarly. You know you're hitting it hard when you leave it messy. Jeez. So this is our compost pile. Doesn't look like much here. We dump everything from chicken bones to all of our any wood ashes that we have, any shrubs and greenery, cut grass, anything, grease. Put it all in here, and I know it doesn't look like much here, but we turn this under and we till it up, and our eggshells, everything. This soil underneath here, I take scoops of that and put it at the bottom of my holes when I plant especially my tomatoes and anything that likes a lot of nutrients. I'll put the scoop of this in the bottom of the hole, and my plants grow crazy. And then everything around this, cucumbers get planted out here, and I have lettuces and all that down through here, and this just permeates through the soil, real sandy soil. So this is like the hub of nutrition here, and I can spot service things, and it also feeds my garden. It's a great setup. All right, looks a lot better in here. We couldn't find anything. It got real bad, so. Little crank radio we use. And weather band. So in the summer it's pretty nice because if we got extreme weather coming in, this will alert you. And you can take camping, go down the river, whatever you want to do. It won't die. You can just crank it up. This is my second one. My first one had outlived its time because we use it all the time. So you only have to crank that for a couple minutes and you can probably play music for hours. But it's also solar, and it has a flashlight and a charger, headphone jack, or you can charge your phone off of this. So pretty nice little thing to have around. So all your daily tools, things you use every day: sledgehammers, wire brushes, knives, hammers, tape measures, all that good stuff. Sawzalls, saw. So always get into something every day. Gotta have all this stuff. So yeah, lock that up. Back seat gets trashed, and the whole thing needs worked on. She has seen better days. I think there might be a bird living in there. I wonder how the engine is. I'll look right through my wheel well. So, yep. And there she is, the infamous Gypsy. Sometimes we live out of this truck for months at a time. We literally come home in enough time to, get the kids something to eat and go to bed and get up and do it again. So, what's the claim, babe?
I'm going in to get this muddy stuff off. It's a muddy.
Scrap life. She's still collecting all the cans, cleans them out, dries them out. She goes through all that work, and we take 25 bags over and get about $3. But she's doing her part. What are you doing?
Looking for receipts
Why?
for taxes.
Tax season? Oh my God, look at this claim. Everywhere. That's just out of the glove box. We got so many receipts everywhere. So yeah, we got so many receipts everywhere. And gotta do what you gotta do though, right? So yeah, that's what we're doing here in the next few days. Trying to add everything up and get everything organized. So we got a couple more places to look, but here's the receipt life so far. Whew! I'd say we need to get to selling. Flea market life. So we looked around and we were able to find a couple receipts. What? Small business life. That's the claim here. My goodness. So cutting it up smaller like this, if you come to a real gristly piece like this that you know is not, you're not gonna be able to chew up very good, you can just take it out. So you're kind of separating some of that that's in this. Now if we were to grind this fat probably wouldn't matter, but I don't want which it's fine, I've done it before. Tastes about the same, fresh ground beef, but it's more like our traditional taco. I like them a little thicker pieces like this. It just takes a little more time to do. A lot of that meat, this is what we got to use. And this is what I deemed unusable pork gristle or fat. So you get quite a bit of meat, and it wasn't very expensive, $5, and that's more than enough to feed at least 4 or 5 people. But the reason we cut this up, a few reasons. One, to get all this stuff out. Two, I cut against the grain, so this cut of meat, you actually want to cut against the grain. You're either going to want to cook it for a really long time, hence a soup boil, and render it all down till it falls apart, or you don't want to cook it very long or it'll get tough on you. So we want it all to cook about the same amount of time. We want it to cook so they all have to be about the same size. And I wanted them smaller than what they were because we're putting them in these little taco shells about this size. So let's season this up, and we're gonna let it set until till supper. For about, you want to let it set for at least an hour. Now I have this fajita seasoning. I could use all the individual ingredients, but I don't use it all because I don't like a lot. So I'm just going to add this to kind of give me some extra flavor, a little bit of flavor. and then just salt and pepper. The salt will, not a lot, but the salt will help break that down. I'm going to use some onion powder, which we will be adding onions to it. And then the last thing we're going to add is a little bit of the cilantro leaves. Now you don't want to add too much because we are going to put some on it after it's done, maybe some fresh. And when I'm cooking, I don't mind using this dried cilantro and just a little bit of lime juice. Using lime juice, you don't have to keep limes around all the time. So if you get the urge or have some extra beef and you want to make this, because you're going to find out once you do that this is amazing if you haven't had it. Most of you probably know what street tacos are, but this is an easy way to make it, and if you follow these steps, it takes to be some of the best street tacos you ever had. So now we do buy fresh lime to make this if we're going to make it specially. But if you don't, you can just have the lime juice sitting around. You can make it whenever you want. If you have the dried cilantro sitting around, all you really need is some corn tortillas, and you could throw it on regular flour tortillas, but it does taste completely different. So you really want the corn tortillas. Alright, we're just going to let that sit for about an hour and then we'll make it for supper. So, we'll show you the rest then. So there we go, we're just going to wrap it with saran wrap and stick it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. It'll tenderize with the salt, it'll soak up that flavor in, and it'll be, so you don't over season it, and you'll still have a lot of flavor, and it'll kind of come through with all the combinations we're going to use. So you don't need a lot of flavor. So we're going to get this meat we prepared out of the refrigerator. And we're going to get a skillet nice and hot. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in this so that the meat doesn't stick, but just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Smells good. Tammy's opening up some of our homemade salsa we made last year. It's our gardens from the vegetable. Our vegetables from the garden. Test this pan when it gets sizzling. When we see it start sizzling here, we know we can start throwing in our meat. We want it real hot. Need to get some onions ready. hear it sizzling. Start dropping some of this in here. Now you want to keep this on a pretty high temperature. We're just going to stir it once we get it in there. Make sure none of it really burns. So a little tidbits of goodness. Gonna let it cook in its own juices for a little while. Let it tender up a little bit, and you'll know when it's done when that's all pretty much rendered from that. You can see now most of the moisture is gone, so we know this is about done. Only took a few minutes. Shut the heat off of this. Stir it a little bit more. Let's stay on this hot stove, but there's no heat on. Take it from the heat. Add cilantro. We never went and got any fresh, so good thing we got this stuff. Just dried leaf cilantro. It's going to give us the flavor we need. And then just throw a couple of these on here on the hot surface. You can heat them up in your microwave. That's why people don't. See how it burns? You can also warm them up right in the pan. You just want to warm them up. They don't have to be hot. You get them too hot and they'll fall apart on you. Well, we got these white big ones. A little bit bigger ones. You can do this with a pan too, but this is already hot, so that's why it works. gonna do, just take a little bit of meat per shell, whatever you fancy. A little bit of onions. And then you would squeeze a lime or a little bit of lime juice. And if you want a little more cilantro, put that or fresh cilantro on. And that's a street taco right there. Look at that thing. So good. Corn tortilla, the meat, the cilantro and lime. They're just a combination. That's good. Let's see what Tammy thinks.
Did you already put this on?
Yeah.
You did?
Some, yeah.
It's good.
I'm trying to tell you. You can cut up avocados. Add it to this too. Makes it really good. I tried to shove that down my throat so I could talk. It's so good though. Makes a lot. Really easy recipe, so it's a real hit in this house. Did you like this video? You see that like button? Go ahead and push it. And subscribe so you stay up to date with all of our adventures. So until next time,
Peace, everyone.
later, y'all.